Hello everybody and welcome to Attunement Tarot. My name is Robin and I will be reading for all the signs today. So I'm cleansing the space and the cards and we will get started. We'll start with Aries and go all the way to Pisces. And these readings, this is basically whatever comes out. What do you need to know at this time, okay? And be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Whenever you hit the like button, that is a currency that keeps this video circulating, okay? And it's a way to show your appreciation for the free energy check-ins here. Okay. All right. I'd like to invite Spirit in with so much gratitude and respectfully request a message for all 12 zodiac signs. A message for everyone's greatest and highest good at this time. Please and thank you, Spirit. Okay, so Aries, what is it that you need to know? Things are looking good with your finances, or perhaps you are having an issue with finances. I get the sense that there's something that you are trying to clean up in your life here, Aries. And because there's a part of you that's come away from what you know yourself to be when it comes to your, I was about to say spirituality, but your stability, all right? Now, with the King of Pentacles, the Devil and the Fool, and the Devil in the middle, there is something that you're shedding in order to start anew and start over and get back to yourself and what you know yourself to be, your stability. And it doesn't have to be like wealth by any means, but it's a sense of being wealthy in oneself, right? Being stable, not wanting for anything, but you don't need more than what you have. You don't need more than what you need to get through, all right? Okay, so Spirit, tell me more about the King of Pentacles energy, please. Okay. And the Devil. Okay. So you could be finding that in your new, in this process, right, of your new beginning, that you could be getting support from friends, because this could even have been an intervention of some kind, because we have your Three of Cups under the Fool, which is influencing this new beginning. And then we have the Ace of Swords under the Devil. So some of your friends could have come to you and been like, hey, here's this truth that we need to share with you. This I see as a truth that you are aware of inside of yourself, okay? And with this message, you're deciding to wrap it up with the world here, okay? There is a call for you to kick something out in order to get back to a stable place. And you can have mixed emotions about that with the Two of Pentacles. You might feel as though, you know, how can I do that? It can feel very difficult. And this is a very specific message, right? But replace this devil energy with whatever it is that you feel bound to. Okay? And you do have people in your life that are coming to you and helping you realize this, confirming it for you. If it's something that you already know, sometimes it's a whisper, then a tap, then a slap. And I feel like you very well may be at the slap phase. Not that you deserve to be slapped, but it's kind of one of those things, right? Where it's like, okay, you have to be honest with yourself, and your people are being honest with you as well, what they see. And so you can have mixed emotions about it. You could be wondering, maybe even trying to make deals with yourself on how can I keep this certain thing in my life and still function really well. And this could be anything. This could be any kind of addiction or codependency or negative self-talk. It's anything that you feel is bound to you on some level. And it's not something that is inextricable, Aries. It isn't. It isn't anything that's inextricable. And so, with this truth, you're bringing everything back into balance. This, I feel, is the invitation from Spirit and the invitation from your friends and family, okay? Your closest confidants here, because they're coming in with the truth, the sword of truth, and your job is to, and theirs, and to help you a bit here, is to bring things back into balance for you to get back to your core sense of self, get back to that stable place inside of you. And then there's the Six of Cups, the Fool, the Three of Cups, and the Six of Cups. So these people, they love you tremendously. And they are here for you, and they've been here for you for a very long time. Okay. And I also feel like the Six of Cups energy, with that nostalgia piece for you, is going to help you, is going to serve as a reminder as to what has helped you bring balance into your life in the past. Okay? Let's see the bottom of the deck energy here. The Queen of Wands. You absolutely have what it takes, Aries, in order to make this happen for yourself. You have that drive. Right under that is the High Priestess. So definitely an invitation for you to do some inner work here, to release this devil energy, whatever it is, however it shows up for you. And you have a lot of really good support around you for this at this time. And the invitation from Spirit here is to rely on them and to remember how much people love you and how much they're going to support you in bringing an end to something so that you can get back to your stable sense of self and bring balance back into your life. Okay? So that's what I have for the tarot portion. What I would like to do is I would like to pull an oracle card for you. Let me see. Is this? No, that's not it. I really like this one oracle deck that I know would really fit very well in this instance here. And that's another tarot deck. I should have probably got it all situated before I started recording here, huh? I might not be able to find it, you guys. Shoot, Mamma Mia. Okay, let me pause this and then I'll find it. Hello, Aries. I found the deck that I was looking for you. This is the Surrender, the Power of Surrender deck here. Okay. That one wanted to fill out. Surrender stubbornness. Surrender stubbornness. If you're tensing up or taking a rigid stance about something, gently observe yourself and become more yielding. This will help you communicate more lovingly with others and yourself. Okay? All right, Aries, so that's what I have for you. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Mwah. Hello, Taurus. We are going to be doing your reading next. This is whatever comes out for you. King of Wands wanted to pop out. Okay. All right, let's see here, Taurus. Page of Cups, very nice. You may want to look at this short that I uploaded last night. I do all 12 signs over the shorts feed, and last night your short was like amazing. So I suggest you go and check that out for sure, Taurus. Okay, so very interesting. The Seven of Swords popped up for you last night too. So we have this Page of Cups, Seven of Swords, Six of Swords. So what I'm seeing with this is that you're through getting in touch with your heart space, right? And really just kind of like reflecting and having this conversation with yourself, you're going from maybe withholding some thoughts, maybe withholding some communication. Could be an element of dishonesty through the act of withholding, or some sort of strategy at play here, right? And that goes from that energy back to moving away from that kind of energy. Okay, so we go from the 7 to the 6. So that to me says that through getting in touch with how you feel about yourself, your situation, what you're trying to accomplish, things that you're doing, people that you're dealing with, the list goes on, that instead of being strategic and trying to maneuver, you are just going to back away from that energy and the people involved, or back away from that strategy by being more open and honest with whatever it is that you're dealing with. Take it as it resonates. But there is a sense of moving away from any kind of drama. Like, you don't need to strategize to be a part of something that you don't need to be a part of, right? And I think it's through this self-reflection of the Page of Cups that really helps you with that. Okay, tell me more about the Page of Cups, please. Yep, moving away. We got the Chariot. I feel like that's the realization that came from it. And the Seven of Swords, the Magician. The Seven of Swords and the Magician combined is trickster energy. Okay? That's trickster energy. So it's kind of like using your powers. It's like, are you using your powers for good or evil? And it doesn't really have to be like that dramatic by any means, but like, it's a strategy in a very kind of tricky way. And I think that you're coming to grips with that and you're being honest with yourself about that. It's manipulation. It's manipulation. Six of Swords, the Hierophant. Yeah. So, oh, look at this. Look at that card. Isn't that so pretty? That's so good. I really like the Hierophant in this deck. Okay, going back to it. Your higher knowing, or even a mentor, guide, parent, teacher, therapist, or even just your own inner doctrine that you've always known, is giving you the nudge and saying, yeah, you don't have to manipulate or be tricky or any of that business, because the Hierophant's connected with the moving away energy. You don't have to strategize in a situation that you don't need to be a part of. Okay? And here we are. We have Page of Cups, the Chariot, and Judgment. You have made a judgment to move away from this energy. You have made the call here. Okay. Seven of Swords, the Magician, the Knight of Swords. Yeah, taking that action very swiftly as well. And then this is called the universe, but it's really the world. Okay? So with this judgment call, you've basically did what I was laying out from the first three cards. Coming to grips with your feelings, realizing where you may have been dishonest or manipulative in a situation, coming to grips with how you don't like being that, you don't like doing that. You know, it didn't feel good to you. So then you made a judgment call and you moved away from it. You know, this definitely feels like it feels like your higher mind came into the room. Your higher mind came in to take over. You know, we always have like an inner child and the adult that we are now, okay? So your adult came in to adult the situation. A lot of times when we feel like we need to manipulate or to whatever that we don't feel proud of, you know, maybe more of a little bit of more shadow side comes into play. A shadow side of maybe one of our strengths or something. That is always, it's always important to pay attention to where that comes from. And how is your inner child in the driver's seat when it comes to those kinds of energies taking place? You know, is it not wanting to let other people down? Is it the fear of being judged? Is it whatever, you know, whatever wound it's attached to? Okay? Okay. All right, Taurus. Well, I mean, it looks like you're definitely turning things around for yourself, which is lovely and wonderful and terrific. And what do we have on the bottom of the deck energy for you here? The Page of Wands. So with the Page of Cups and the Page of Wands, that also tells me that, yeah, there was some inner child work at play here. It's also being put back to the beginning. You know, it's like starting from scratch. The pages are really the fools of the suit that they're in. So this is looking really good for you. It feels like a clean slate. Okay, and I'm going to pick a oracle card for you. I'm going to leave it there for the tarot, Taurus. And so what we're looking at here is the language of letting go, since you do have departure energy here in your spread today. Loving myself unconditionally. Today I will work at loving myself unconditionally. God, please help me let go of self-loathing and other unproductive behaviors. Today, God, I want to hold myself in high self-esteem. I know I can do so with your help. Now, this deck was created by Melanie Beattie, and she is the author of Codependent No More, which is, and I do believe that she's like a recovering alcoholic and you know, codependent and all that stuff. Amazing book, amazing author and woman. So, you know, there's the God energy in that. So thank you so much, Taurus, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Mwah. Hey there, Gemini. We are doing your reading. This is what do you need to know, whatever comes out. Okay. And keep in mind, I do more shuffling off camera, like the waterfall shuffling. So then when I get you guys back on, I don't have to spend so much time shuffling. Okay. Okay, Gemini. Really counting your blessings at this time, sharing that goodness with other people, realizing that you're able to appreciate and make happiness for yourself, okay? Because most recently there's been kind of an emotional stagnation happening for you. And when we're emotionally stagnant, it doesn't feel good. And we feel like things aren't moving, or maybe there's a little bit of a, I don't know, just kind of like a urgency or some sort of low level vibration that's trying to push us somewhere, right? So, with you, you had that emotional stagnation here in the middle, maybe a little bit abandonment wound or what have you, but, with some reflection and a lot of time healing, and, this is the Hermit, taking that time to get in touch with your own inner compass, your inner guru, you are realizing, I'm not going to trip out too much on the future or what things should look like or what have you. I'm going to be thankful and happy for the present moment of where I find myself right now, and what it is that I do have and what it is that I can appreciate right now. Because to be fair, there's a lot of struggle and strife all over the world. And if we spend, we all know, like, we could really, really go down the rabbit hole and the quagmire with everything. And by no means am I saying to ignore any of that or to only keep it high vibe or whatever. It's just for your own personal self-care. It could feel like a lot, contending with the world's problems, if you know what I mean. So let's go ahead and see. Spirit, can you tell me more about the Nine of Cups, please? The Ten of Swords. Yeah, I get the sense that this energy is coming out in you because of a most recent deception or betrayal, or even something that had been a struggle for so long, and you may have been trying and it just wasn't working out, and then now finally it's just like, Ten of Swords, death by 1,000 cuts here. Four of Cups, Page of Cups. That's really getting in touch with those, like the childhood abandonment wounds, okay? Abandonment wounds. Sometimes what we do in order to avoid going to that place for ourselves is hanging on to people that are not good for us. And that's, I would wonder, let us continue, okay? But there's an abandonment wound here, and then there was a betrayal and a final ending here. But above that is the Nine of Cups. So I feel like you are aware of this message already, okay, within yourself. And that awareness is, here's affirming that with the Hermit here. Okay, can you tell me more about the Hermit, please, Spirit? Four of Swords. Yeah, I like to call the Four of Swords the minor arcana of the Hermit. It's just more alone time, more replenishing your reserves, especially if you're an introverted person. And I get the sense that you very well may be, based on these energies, but you needed to rest and heal. There's resting, there's healing, and we have moon imagery in both of them. There's the full moon and then the crescent moon, and there's just a lot of unconscious material that's coming up, or that has come up for you. Things that, you may not have fully known, but this experience has really been putting you in touch with the awareness of how this relationship, or whatever it was that recently experienced the Ten of Swords, whatever that was, how that played into your psyche, played into your abandonment wounds, played into your stuff, you know. Some folks call it trauma bonding. So yeah, a lot of awareness of yourself at this time, Gemini. Okay, can you tell me more about the Ten of Swords, please, Spirit? Eight of Pentacles. This could have been a loss of a job. You could, I mean, we can experience toxicity in a job, or what is helping you, because we have the Nine of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles flanking the Ten of Swords. So what you can be counting your blessings about is your own sense of creativity, work, your purpose, your tangible purpose. Like this is such a beautiful card. Look at that. That's so pretty. And there's light, see, and there's the sun in here too. So I'm going to go with that. I feel like your work, you're counting your blessings with work, because this Ten of Swords, I don't see the culprit of the Ten of Swords in this spread, which is good because it means that it's over here. But you're still holding on, like not holding on, but it's resonating, or it's echoing. There's an echo. And so you're trying your very best to heal but from that by taking care of yourself and counting your blessings and working and focusing your time and attention on the things that you can control, Gemini. And so Ace of Cups connected to the Four of Cups, the Page of Cups. Okay, so this can be read two ways. You can have an Ace of Cups coming up soon. You could have had an Ace of Cups show up, at which triggered this experience, whatever the case may be. There's Eight of Pentacles, Ace of Cups. You could meet somebody at work, or this person could be the person at work, and sometimes the ace is a renewed ace where they're trying to come back. So Three of Swords right after that. Okay. Three of Swords underneath the Hermit, the Four of Swords. So you've been nursing a broken heart, most definitely. This could have been, I mean, it could have been a false start, but I don't know. I feel like there was just some sort of relationship here that was a doozy and was kind of maybe a longer term relationship that had just been unhealthy or challenging, and now it's over, and that's a good thing. I also think that with the Ace of Cups here, that's emotional overwhelm. It can be that way. This can also be a new an emotional experience for you to be focusing on other things other than this person or this thing that had you, not feeling very well, right? Focusing on your work, counting your blessings, that can be the ace, right, that you have. Because that is a new emotional experience when you choose yourself and you are feeling good about that as a part of your healing. So I see this as all very continuous. Be aware that we are in Mercury retrograde, so this person may try to come back to offer you a renewal, Ace of Cups. And given that the Ten of Swords is present here, we all choose. We make our choices and we get clearer, right? We make our choices and we get clearer. But we also don't go back to the place that made us sick in order to heal. Okay, Gemini? Okay, well, I'm going to leave the tarot there for you at this time, and I am going to give you a flower remedy. Flower remedy oracle. Ooh, actually, let me look at the bottom of the deck. The Fool. Starting over, brand new beginning. Okay? Brand new beginning. There it is. Boop. Yeah. This is good. It doesn't feel good sometimes, but you're healing. You're doing really good for yourself. Focusing on the things, focusing on your creativity, focusing on your work, counting your blessings, resting, taking care of yourself when you need to. Okay, Gemini? All right. Echinacea, consciousness. Echinacea stimulates and awakens your consciousness, helping break up and release outdated personal stories, emotions, and attachments that are holding you back from positive growth and self-realization, and awakening awareness of your true self when you have forgotten or lost connection. I really love that for you, Gemini. I think that really fits the theme. Okay. Mwah. Thank you so much. Like, share, subscribe, all the good things. Okay, see you next time. Hello, Cancer. We are going to do a reading for whatever comes out. Okay, and the Five of Pentacles wanted to pop out. Okay. All right. Okay, Cancer. Four of Pentacles. The Devil. The Nine of Pentacles. Okay. Okay. So, you're independent right now, and I get the sense that you're holding on to what's yours, okay? You're very mindful of your resources. You're also in a headspace of, I'm just going to keep to myself right now. And I get the sense it's well warranted, and there's maybe a little bit of fear at play. I don't know what this devil energy is doing here. You may feel like you have to keep to yourself in order to, separate from some sort of toxic energy. We'll see. But by and large, these energies that are on either side of you are really positive, very, very healthy. I get the sense that you're in the Four of Pentacles for good reason, and it's for your self-preservation, for your self-care, which is really good. And I love the little fox here wrapped in a blanket. How cozy and, self-care is that, okay? All right, so Spirit, can you tell me more about the Four of Pentacles, please? The Emperor, yeah, that's what you got to do right now. The boundaries up. Boundaries up. Very good. Good for you. Good for you, Cancer. Get that. You're like, shall engage. Spirit, can you tell me more about the Devil, please? Nine of Wands. Yeah, you're not. You're like, this stuff, whatever this thing is, this wounded warrior business, I'm not engaging in it anymore. Because this is insane. Nothing is, you're not going to continue to do the same thing and expect different results. And you are well aware what ends up happening when you move and turn your attention towards whatever this devil energy is. And that's why your boundaries are up very strongly. And it is in the mode of self-preservation, self-care. You are doing what you need to do for you right now, Cancer. Like 100%. Okay? 100%. And it's good. You're very, very smart about it. Most definitely. Spirit, can you tell me more about the Nine of Pentacles, please? The Sun. Yeah. When you're with yourself and you focus on yourself and what you're doing and like your own emperorhood and just how you want your life to look, that is going to bring you a lot of satisfaction and a lot of just warmth and feeling good in your own skin. The sun coupled with the Nine of Pentacles, I mean, gosh, like that's really, really good energy. That's amazing. It's like you don't need anybody. I mean, we all need people, but you're really only going to have people, Cancer, that are good, your people that you've known forever, like this is like, yeah, you're taking care of yourself, but you do have your inner circle. You have those in your life that you can rely on. I don't really see them here in the spread just yet right now, but that's what I get from this, that your self-care includes your family. It includes your loved ones, okay? Pardon me. All right. Spirit, can you tell me more about the Emperor, please? Page of Pentacles. Yeah, I really do get the sense it's like you have the Emperor in the middle here, flanked by the Page of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. So there's an element of taking stock of what one has, and then also taking some time to be kind of with the boundaries, and then getting to a space of, starting over. And what new seed do you want to plant, right? So the pages are like the fools of the suit. So I really like this energy. You're kind of like clearing the slate and then taking stock and really being intentional about that. Gemini had similar energy in this last read. Tell me more about the Nine of Wands, please, Spirit. The Hanged Man. Yeah, with this situation here, you're looking at things from a different perspective. There has been a spiritual awakening. I actually really, really like this energy. It speaks to a soul revelation. It speaks to the message finally coming home to settle in. I see this as you finally listening to whatever spirit has been trying to tell you. Your spirit has been trying to tell you for a very long time, hence the Nine of Wands, right? You are seeing things from another perspective, and you're not dealing with this anymore. And you're also not even going to engage in the dynamic, because the thing is with the Hanged Man and that perspective, you will know it when you see it. If it comes back, it's like the same issue in a different meat suit, same type of stuff. No thank you. No thank you. Why? Because you got your shit together and you are doing really, really good on your own. With your friends, family, la-di-da. Okay, Spirit, tell me more about the Sun, please. Page of Cups. You have 2 pages. Or is that? No, that's a 4. So there is a starting over energy here. Page of Pentacles, Hanged Man, Page of Cups. So with this spiritual exercise, through the surrender to really being honest with what is and honest with what you see and what you experience, there is a starting over. And through the starting over and what you want to grow and how you want to feel moving forward in your life, like I said, you're able to see it. You're able to see it coming. This was very similar to Gemini's read. Maybe you have Gemini and Cancer in your chart, but be that as it may, coming away from a well-worn dynamic that is just, that you're definitely aware of. And through focusing on your own self and your own feelings and your heart space, you can't go wrong. You got the sun there, okay? Bottom of the deck energy, King of Pentacles. All right. So you could be dealing with the King of Pentacles. This could even be really focusing so much more on your stability. Because we started with the Four of Pentacles, and then bottom of the deck energy is the King of Pentacles. So 4 is like, I'm taking stock of what's mine, and I'm going to focus on that, focus on myself. So you really could be even, diving headlong into a work project that's actually going to be very successful for you, Cancer. Okay, but so that's what I have for you for the tarot portion. I'm going to go ahead and pull an oracle card for you. And I'm feeling the animal spirit with this one. Okay. Fox, clever. You are swift and smart. Solutions to problems are easily found. Always listen to your instincts. Resources surround you. Be open to romance. You're like, maybe. Okay. All right. Thank you, Cancer. I'll see you next time. Mwah. Hello, Leo. Okay, so this is whatever comes out. What do you need to know right now? Okay. All right, let's see here. Four of Pentacles, that came out first for Cancer, right before you. Ace of Swords, the Moon. So there is a truth here that's coming to light, or there could even be a truth here that you may just have an inkling about, right? Like with the Moon energy, you could be suspecting. But whatever the suspicion is, I get the sense that you are pretty convinced that it's the truth, even though you may not have evidence to support whatever it is that you believe to be true. Okay? But we'll look into it and see. With the Four of Pentacles here, there's a mindfulness around keeping to oneself any resources that are important. Not that you're being stingy, but it's just one of those things. This just came to me, you may have a feeling that something's coming down the pike. Like, for example, and this is a generic example, I'm not saying this is your story, it could be, but here it is. Let's say you're at a job and things are not really going well. Maybe there's some whatever's happening with the company, and you just feel like the axe is going to fall. And maybe not just on you, but like on several people, or even the company as a whole. Who knows? That's the truth, that you're like, okay, something's up. And so therefore you're taking stock of your stuff, taking stock of your money, savings, all the things to prepare. You're preparing. Okay? So let's see here. Spirit, can you tell me more about the Four of Pentacles? These cards are beautiful and they have an interesting little coating that makes them stick together. And the benefit of that is that they don't slide all over the table, but the con of that is that it's like when you're trying to pick them up. All right, Four of Pentacles, the World. Yeah, I feel like you, and given the state of the world right now, makes perfect sense. Or even just the economic state of, you know, the United States as well. I don't know. It's different for everybody, right? Depends on if you're a billionaire or not, I guess, but I digress. The universe, you feel like there's something that is coming to a close. And so that is the motivation for you to take stock of your resources. Can you tell me more about the Ace of Swords, please, Spirit? The Lovers. Yeah, I get the sense that this, I mean, you could have a committed relationship here, and so it's not just a truth that's going to affect you. This truth is going to also affect your partner. In terms of differentiation and maturation, because that's another energy of the Lovers. That there is some sort of truth here that is going to springboard you to grow up quite fast in some way. A potential. If it only take it if it resonates, right? With the Moon, we have the Four of Cups. Yes. So there's something, it's like you don't have the evidence of it, but there's something here that's triggering like your abandonment energy, some sort of even emotional stagnation, boredom, rejection. You know, if in reading the cards this way, just these three as their own whole, there's something that you are closing out. This could even be a suspected, with the generic job example aside, you could suspect that your relationship is on its way out. Or this even could be a revelation and a truth that you have come to, that you have been quiet about, that you haven't shared, that you are then maybe taking stock of your own resources so you can move out or move away or, live on your own if you live with the partner. Because with the Four of Cups and the World flanking the Lovers, and then the Ace of Swords right above that, that tells me that there's dissatisfaction in this union, and that you, Leo, are coming to grips with that. And recognizing that and really taking stock of what it is that you have in order to get your ducks in a row, to do what you need to do. Whether that's to move out or to break up or to find a new job, whatever the case may be, okay? The Chariot. So we have the World and then the Chariot. A lot of these videos today for the different signs have had similar themes. And I believe it was Aries that had these cards. And I shuffle the heck out of these. You see me do it hand over hand on the video, but I pause it and I'm shuffling and shuffling and shuffling. So I shuffle a lot off camera. So I feel like there is a collective pinch for a lot of folks right now across the zodiac. So, you have the Four of Pentacles, the Chariot, or Four of Pentacles, the World, and the Chariot. So it's like, what do I got? I'm wrapping this up and then I'm out. Okay? Pretty much. Like cut and dry, straight up. All right. Ace of Swords, the Lovers, the Magician, the Chariot, the Magician. So this is like you're in touch with this truth, and now you have this impetus to move forward and make the changes that you need to make. The Chariot and the Magician energy together is like unstoppable, okay? Just unstoppable here, which I feel like this is really breathing a breath of fresh air into your life, because with this Four of Cups and the Moon, that's just like a nebulous, free-floating, restless energy that just needs to shift. And I feel like you're doing that now, Leo. Okay? Whatever is causing that, whether it be a job or a lover or just the world as it is, right? Okay, Ten of Pentacles. Yes, I like this a lot for you. Oh, look at this beautiful card. Gosh, isn't that so pretty? That is so pretty. God, that's so pretty. Okay. And you know, check this out, man. Look at that. Look at that imagery. Both these moons. This is like moon in darkness and then moon in the light. Gold. I just had to point that out there. Okay. You start off taking stock of what you have because you're about to make a move. And whether, you know, just a move and a big decision in your life to shake things up, to get into a different energy space, get into a different living location, go to a different job, whatever it is. So you're hopping in your chariot, manifesting the Ten of Pentacles. This could even be, you know, knowing that some sort of long-term stability is coming to a close. And then once you do decide to do what you know you need to do, you end up finding through this chariot journey in the next phase of your life, the embodiment of the next phase, you come to find that the next chapter is just way better and beautiful and awesome. So that's looking really good. What do we have at the bottom of the deck for you, Leo? The Fool. The Fool was at the bottom of the deck for another sign today as well. There's a lot of starting over energy for a lot of people. I mean, that's seriously like a theme coming out. And then the Hermit under that. So you've thought long and hard about this, Leo. Okay. I like how that moon is helping to influence. Like, even if you don't fully know, you know enough to make a move. Okay? You know enough. So let us see here. Let's go with the surrender. Let's go with the surrender. I'm going to leave it there for the tarot portion for you, Leo, and I'm going to pick a surrender card for you. Whoop. Surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. Let go of limiting ideas about yourself that originate from the past. Then you can own your power and soar in your life. Soar in your life. And look at that chariot. The bird energy. Soaring. Yes. Totally. I love that for you. Okay, Leo. Enjoy your chariot. We'll see you next time, and happy birthday. Okay, bye. Hello, Virgo. So we are going to look into what you need to know at this time. We're really just kind of surrendering to whatever comes out. Okay? A lot of recurring themes across the signs so far, but I think the collective is very much feeling a lot of similar things. So, okay, what do we have for you though, Virgo? Mm-hmm. Nice. Okay. So we have the High Priestess, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles. So this energy says that you're listening to your intuition right now when it comes to what you want to invest in. What kind of new seed are you planting, right? And you know that it's like you have an intuitive inkling about what that is and wanting that to lead you towards the Ten of Pentacles, a very long-term commitment, long-term success. Like this is, you know, family and all the things, right? Anywhere from school supplies and pick up and drop off. I mean, it's everything. It's everything. All the pieces of practical life, okay? Okay. So yeah, I mean, there's something about this being connected to your psyche and your emotions. Really, really wanting this. Really wanting this very strongly. And being at the beginning and planting the seed there. That's really pretty. Ace of Pentacles there. Okay. Spirit, can you tell me more about the High Priestess, please? Seven of Wands. Okay. So with the High Priestess, you have the Seven of Wands. And the thing is that the High Priestess, when she shows up, it's an invitation to surrender. It's an invitation to relinquish the ego. Because what you're being invited to do is look at your own process, your own psyche, to confront your shadows, to listen to your intuition. What is your intuition telling you about yourself? You know, things of that nature. And then when we have the Seven of Wands, this is even an invitation to look at your boundaries and where your boundaries lie. Where do you build your little dams, right? Where do you build your stuff? Because the beaver is always building dams in order to like make the water flow in one direction or another or not at all, right? So, I mean, yeah, in order to keep themselves safe and to build their home. So you could even have been like, you know, damming back some emotions, being quiet about some things with yourself or with others. But the Ten of Pentacles, underneath the Ten of Pentacles, we have the Justice. We have balance. We have two people having a little pinky promise right there. And that's beautiful. And that's what I feel is what it is that you want. And with the Six of Pentacles, clarifying the Ace of Pentacles, you know, perhaps your the way in which, because this is the energy that is supporting this Ace of Pentacles, okay? So the Six of Pentacles is very transactional. there could be a part of you that feels as though through transactional relationship that somehow this Ten of Pentacles and this balance with the Justice will be achieved. You know, whatever the case may be. This is interesting because I don't know entirely of what this dynamic is playing to for you. There's something new that you want. You want success. So this could be a work story. This could even be this definitely could be a work story because we don't have any cups here as of yet, but transactional. You could even be looking for a new job. Your intuition could be telling you that what you're engaged in is a dead end. It's time to start over with something new. If you ever want to get to the Ten of Pentacles place. With the Seven of Wands, it's like you know your boundaries and your worth, and knowing that you can't, maybe you can't dam back, you can't be like this beaver building their own home without more resources, you know? So the Ten of Pentacles is definitely what it is that you deserve here, because karmically, justice is here to say, yes, you deserve the Ten of Pentacles. And, you know, but things have been out of balance. If that has not been a part of your reality, the Ten of Pentacles, then that means something has been out of balance. So we bring that back into balance. Now, some folks see the Six of Pentacles as a minor arcana of the Justice because they have there's scale energy in that, on that card, traditionally. This, to me, the Six of Pentacles is transactional. You know, we have relationships with people. Sometimes we're the giver, sometimes we're the taker. But it is an agreed upon role. There are agreed upon roles here. So with that being under the Ace makes me think that that's a working relationship of some kind. Because we do get paid in our jobs, right? Okay, so this very well could be a work story of trying to find something brand new. All right, let's see here. Spirit, can you tell me more about the Seven of Wands? Which is really interesting that the High Priestess is here, because the High Priestess is very watery, very ethereal. And what you're working with is a lot of earth energy, you know? Okay, so Seven of Wands, then the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, starting over. I've been getting a lot of pages. By and large, the court cards that have been coming out in everybody's spread are pages, right? So there's a sense of getting back, you know, being knocked back to starting over. A lot of, you know, so there's a Page of Pentacles here, which is cool because that goes in alignment with the Ace of Pentacles for you. Yeah, I feel like you're on the precipice of like a new work situation. Three of Cups. So 10 of Pentacles, Justice, Three of Cups. It's like you have your larger network of committed family and friends, and then your smaller network of committed family, soul family, friendships, right? And in between that, there's balance, there's justice. So that would say to me that, you know, the invitation of Spirit is make the best decisions for yourself. And I feel like the energy that you're working with actually already is that you're mindful of the decisions and how they're going to impact your family, how they're going to impact your friends, things like that. Okay. So you're really not just thinking about yourself in this instance, even though you could if you wanted to. There's nothing wrong with that. But in the center of the reading is the Justice. So what you're trying to bring about is a best outcome for everybody involved. There could even be a court case going on here. Okay. If that is your story, you know, take it as it resonates, because Six of Pentacles right after the Justice. That could be divvying up of resources as well. Okay. Okay. All right. Six of Pentacles, the Empress. Ace of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, the Empress. Page of Pentacles, Three Cups, the Empress. So the Empress is a collection of all the queens, okay? There's something about this brand new beginning in your tangible realm that is going to, you know, maybe make you temporarily feel like a newbie, but through your support systems, ultimately, I feel like you will find this new opportunity or this new experience stemming from this Ace of Pentacles is really going to put you in touch with your own power, and is really going to put you in touch with your creativity and how you wish to nurture yourself and other people, and is really just very much connected and tied to your future, which is beautiful. And we got the corner to corner, we have High Priestess and the Empress, which is such powerful energy. Page of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. So, you know, Virgo, you're really right here at the beginning. But what you're on the doorstep of is very promising and beautiful. So that's really good. So let's look at the bottom of the deck energy here. The Emperor. Oh, look at you. Yes. Divine pairing here, you know, and then Ten of Pentacles. There's like a commitment. That's family, long-term marriage. Okay. Oh, Mamma Mia. Is that okay? Yeah. Emperor and Empress. Okay. Okay, so that is what I have for you, Virgo. I'm going to go ahead and pick an oracle card for you. I'm feeling the animals, spirit of the animal energy. Yeah. What else that just came to me is that there is a boundaried energy if we're reading the middle row all the way across. Seven of Wands, Justice, Six of Pentacles, you know, with that transactional relationship and those boundaries flanking the balance, you know, you really, and with the High Priestess here, really, this is an invitation from Spirit for you to really examine what does relationship mean to you? Is it transactional? What is it about your own boundaries that may even be keeping you from achieving what it is that you want most? That's another way. But I see you achieving these things with the Ten of Pentacles, Ace. There's just something about that Six of Pentacles that throws me off just a little bit. Because it's like rolls. Okay. Bison, abundance, sacred buffalo, cloak me in your wisdom, keep me warm through the storms of life. Fill my life with goodness. Teach me the way of gratitude and prayer. Very nice. Yeah. I feel like the universe is listening to your prayers here, Virgo. Okay, well, that's what I have for you. I hope that this was good for you, and I will see you next time. Like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTubey things. Mwah. Hello, Libra. Okay, whatever comes out for you, what do you need to know right now? Okay. Okay, there's a Ten of Swords, so something long time coming, okay? And then the Two of Swords and the Three of Swords. Okay, so this says to me that there has been some willful blindness around the ending of a relationship, whether that be a friendship, a partnership, or even a job, whatever the case may be. But with the Three of Swords, you know, this is definitely a matter of the heart. And, you know, you very well could have been staving off the inevitable by continuing to try. But it's just, you know, there have been worries about it for a long time. And with the ending, with the Ten of Swords here, you could have suspected, because at the Two of Swords, we see that there's the tip of the iceberg, and then there's a lot more underneath that isn't being seen. You could have had suspicions of something and really been in your head about it. And then, you know, one day the axe just fell, basically. And so now it's time to get on with the business of healing your heart, and healing the situation in your life. You don't need to do anything for this person or this place or this thing. What you need to do for now, the invitation is for you to focus on yourself and building yourself back up and taking care of yourself. Because these are some difficult energies, especially when you may have suspected something for so long and then you come out to find that your worst fears are realized here. Okay, Libra, so tell me more about the Ten of Swords, Spirit. Six of Swords makes sense. There's an ending, a betrayal, harsh, death by 1,000 cuts. Now it's time to go. Now it's time to go. Pick up and drop anchor somewhere else. You're out of here. You don't need to be a part of this anymore. Tell me more about the Two of Swords, Spirit. We have the Five of Swords. Conflict. Harsh words. Betrayal. Dishonesty. With the Five of Swords connected to the Two of Swords, sometimes that's self-deception. But the thing is, the reason that any of us will ever self-deceive is because we don't want to face what we really do know is the truth. Whether or not it involves another person, whether or not there's a third party, or any of that business, it can be enough to know that you are unhappy and your needs are not being met in a particular situation. Or that maybe the conflict is just too much and you're like, is it normal to be with someone who calls me names and speaks to me so harshly? Like, that doesn't seem right. Like, it doesn't seem healthy. Like, that's not good at all, you know? So yeah, a lot of swords energy, and it's all swords. It's all swords energy. All of it so far. But the benefit is that it's done, and it's kind of like when we think about it with the 8 and then the 9, it's like by the time we get to the 10, it's like now we know. You know, at least now we know, and we can get on with the business of making the decisions that we need to make in order to go and be where we can be happy and like heal and build our life back up, you know? So yeah. So I mean, gosh, this isn't happening to you, this is happening for you, okay? And I mean that in the best way possible. If there was an unhealthy situation, this needed to happen so you could get away from it. Libra, plain and simple. Spirit, can you tell me more about the Three of Swords, please? The Lovers. There was a deception in a love relationship here. At least you're moving away from the conflict. The conflict and the dishonesty and the deception is right here in the middle. And it end up with the 9 grid here, 9 card spread. It's right in the center. Okay, Spirit, can you tell me more about the Six of Swords, please? 2 of Cups. You could be leaving this person for another person. However, the 2 of Cups can also be your relationship with yourself. Okay, another thing is that the 2 of Cups, deception, moving away from this partner, which because sometimes can look very nice. So that's another way of reading this energy. It's another way of reading this energy. Spirit, more about the 5 of Swords, please. The Empress. There could have been someone's mom involved here, or this could not really have anything to do with anyone's mom specifically, but this could be because of mother wounds, right? A lot of the time, let's say if we're in a relationship with another person and it's a very challenging relationship, they could project a lot of their unfinished mom wounds onto us. And so that happens a lot. So we do have the Empress here. Okay. Queen of Swords. So the 3 of Swords, the Lovers, and the Queen of Swords. Okay. I really like the Queen of Swords in this energy because, Libra, I feel like that's you coming to the very harsh, in your face, realization of what's been going on, what's happening, and what needs to happen in this situation. And the bottom of the row, it's 2 of Cups, the Empress, and the Queen of Swords. So with this being just reading these 3 cards at the bottom on their own, this 2 of Cups tells me that's you getting in touch with yourself, with your creative energy, and what you want to nurture and grow in your life, whether you do have children or not. It's everything you want to nurture that, once you make up your mind and cut things out, that then you're able and free to step into the flow of your own existence and your own life, which is you meeting yourself where you need to, because where you have been has not been good for you, okay? Has not been good for you. Conflict, dishonesty, deception, self-doubt, death by 1,000 cuts. And it wasn't just a one-time deal, never is with the 10 of Swords. It's like a pattern. And with the Queen of Swords here, she is here to say enough with the patterns that hurt you. Okay? Enough with the patterns here that hurt you. It hurts right now, but when you get into that boat in the 6 of Swords and you move away, drop anchor somewhere else, that's you choosing you. Because when you arrive, you'll be meeting yourself here. And over time, you'll be stepping into the flow and stepping into the power, into your own power here. So I really like this bottom energy for you with regard to assisting you in moving forward and healing, okay? All right, the bottom of the deck energy, the Star, healing energy, and then the 4 of Wands, rebuilding your stability here. The Hope for a brighter future, a more stable future. I really like that for you, Libra. This is really, 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 really hard and challenging right now, and it's felt crappy. But you know what? When you come away from this energy, you're going to feel so much better. You're going to feel so much better when you're away from this funkiness. Okay? So I'm going to leave it there for the tarot portion. I'm going to pick a card from the... I'm going to pick two for you because this was a pretty heavy one. The language of letting go, and then the Soulflower remedy. Whoops. Oh boy. Okay. Let's choose this one. Moving through discomfort. Today I will face discomfort, trusting that feelings of healing and release are on the other side. Help me, God, to feel whatever I need to feel to be whole and healthy while I'm doing this. To be whole and healthy. While I'm doing this, I will trust that I'm cared for and protected by myself, my friends, my higher power, and the universe. Yes. Definitely, if this is a situation where there has been any kind of danger involved, please be careful, and as you know, get to a safe place. So find safety in friends and family. Find safety in areas where your safety will be ensured, okay? All right, so let's get some flower remedy for you. A little bit of medicine here. Calendula, communication. Our thoughts and words have great creative power, both positive and negative, for ourselves and others. Calendula helps soothe your thoughts and words with warmth and compassion and understanding, so that there's a balance between assertiveness and receptiveness in communication with others. Very good. Very good. Okay, Libra, that is what I have for you. I hope that helps, and I will see you next time. Do all the YouTubey things. See you later. Hello, Scorpio. What is going to come out for you today? What do you need to know? Okay. Knight of Swords. You got something you want to say. 10 of Cups. 7 of Wands. So, you know, this is energy that says speak your truth and be clear on your boundaries in order to preserve your sense of community, your sense of family. So, yeah, Scorpio, there's a lot of strong energy behind you communicating your boundaries and the requirements. And, you know, basically it is very important to you. Like, this is the center of it. It's extremely important to you. You could quite possibly even be involved in protests and things at this time, because this combination of energies would suggest that. Okay. But yeah, whatever your boundaries are, whatever kind of hill you're willing to die on, it is for the greater good here. Okay? Yep, go from the Knight to the Queen of Swords. I like it. King of Cups when it comes to the Ten of Cups. Six of Cups, the Seven of Wands. Okay. Yeah, I mean, these boundaries were instilled in you early on in your life, okay? These these values run deep here. And you know, I see this as a passionate feeling and plan about how you're going to be protecting what's important to you, community, family, all the things. And then in this situation here, there is a reminder of what it means to have decorum. It doesn't mean that you're lessening your message. It just means that you're being more mindful and you're not shooting off at the hip, or being impulsive. You're very careful, you're very mindful of how you're communicating. And whether you blurt it out or you're very thoughtful, your message is going to be the same. The delivery is what's different here. And so I feel like on the inside, you could feel very much Knight of Swords energy. And then the Queen of Swords comes in and helps guide you to communicate whatever it is you need to communicate in perhaps a more diplomatic way. I like how the King of Cups is right next to that, because that would say you're working with very strong high levels of logic and heart with regard to this emotional maturity, intellectual maturity. Okay, you could even be dealing with somebody from your past, and a family member, longtime friend, or even longtime partner, what have you, whatever iteration the relationship has taken. It's distracting. You're here and you're showing up in a very, very strong way. Page of Pentacles, Page of Cups. There's a lot of people here. Okay, there's a lot of people here. Over half this reading is of people. This could even be a family. So we have Queen of Swords, King of Cups, Page of Cups, Page of Pentacles, Knight of Swords. So it's like we could have a family with an adolescent and two small children. And then with the Hierophant here, the Hierophant is a family, is a mentor, a guide, a therapist, a teacher. It's the also what we also hold as our own values and doctrine. And I mentioned those earlier because what you have is the Seven of Wands, Six of Cups, then the Hierophant. When you're reading those cards together, that speaks to boundaries and values and like higher knowing, like full-on value system, okay? And it developed early with the Six of Cups. Like this is something that you could even, have shared because of sibling relationships or with a sibling here. So ultimately, Scorpio, it looks like when it comes to speaking your truth, you may encounter a feeling of intensity inside of yourself, and then you decide to temper that. Okay. Oh gosh, it looked like my clock had stopped. How weird. Anyways, sorry about that. Then you're tempering it. When it is time to speak, you're bringing a lot of maturity. And with the pages here, if we're not reading them as being two little children that are also in the room, we can be reading this as starting over emotionally and starting over on a practical level. Okay. But yeah, ultimately, your aim is for harmony in the family, in the community, a renewal of an Ace of Cups. This comes after personal reflection on your own heart space. You're very clear on your boundaries. There could even be a little bit of stubbornness given how the roots run deep. You know, and don't get talked out of your feelings. Don't get talked out of your own message. Because we see the Knight of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and then the Page of Pentacles, right? So if we read that as an energy, we go from feeling intense to really bringing our most mature game to then being knocked back down to a kid who's just like, what do I do with this seed? You know what I mean? It's just like, what's going on there, you know? So that's a reminder not to gaslight yourself into downplaying your own message, because what you have to say and how you're saying it is very clear. Okay, let's look at but I will say it's hard for me to get a real context on the actual on this read because there's so many court cards. We got is the 10 of Cups, the 6 of Wands, 7 of Wands, 6 of Cups, and the Hierophant. Like, honestly, if I were to just look at this, you know, and I would say here's a family that's going into family therapy. That's what it looks like to me. Or even a couple that's going and dealing with their own inner child wounds. Yeah. Okay, bottom of the deck energy, the 6 of Wands. So there's some sort of recognition here. Recognition after the battle. There's a parade. There's a homecoming. It's bittersweet. This could also be about teaching the younger generations, because the Hierophant is also a teacher. And then we have two youthful energies right here. So this could also be about teaching younger children about values, about family, about standing up for what one believes in. This is also a warrior card and a success card. The warrior comes back from battle and, you know, sits up top of a horse and is received by a parade, you know. Oh, very interesting energy, Scorpio. There's a perseverance here. I'm going to pull an animal oracle for you. That's all I have for the tarot portion of your reading. Hawk, messenger. Spirit is sending you messages. Open your greater vision to see the signs. Focus on priorities and eliminate distractions. You have a bright future. Let yourself ascend to new heights. Okay, Scorpio, that is what I have for you. I will see you on the next one, and thank you. Hello, Sagittarius. What do you need to know? What do the cards have for you? What message? Queen of Pentacles, very nice. The Strength, Leo season right now. And the Temperance, and that's your energy there. I like this a lot. So you could be starting a business or just taking care of yourself in some way, okay? Nurturing yourself, your time, your energy. And with the Strength, it's like it's very well balanced between, your base desires and your higher mind. It's like you're really trying to move towards any and all of this with a sense of patience and grace and present-centered, like kind of slow and steady awareness, right? Just about what you're doing and where you're going. Maybe you're starting over from something. This is just a very well-grounded energy. There could have been something that you've come away from, or maybe not come away from, but a process that you've been a part of. I don't like the way that looks. A process that you've been a part of that you needed to like alchemize and integrate, that really like, forged you in fire, basically. And that has made you so much stronger. It really added to your sense of self. I mean, you could have even really, this situation could have really prompted you to get back in touch with a part of yourself that's always been there, but is really kind of called on and brought up to the surface in times of difficulty and challenge. And you met the challenge in a little bit of a different way. There's a little bit more nuance to this situation. Because when somebody starts their reading out with these energies, that tells me that they've just gone through something very significant and that they're continuing to alchemize the energy. Yeah, I see that here, Sagittarius. But with the Queen of Pentacles here, it's like there's a lot of nurturing and a lot of self-care as well. Okay, Spirit, can you tell me more about the Queen of Pentacles, please? The Five of Pentacles, yeah, there had been a sense of being out in the cold. If this is a more practical business story as well, you could be experiencing a bit of a setback in your finances. That could be a part of it, and you're trying to meet that challenge with this Leo energy here, this Strength energy during this Leo season. Tell me more about the Strength. We have the Seven of Swords. Sometimes we can put on a very brave face when we're having a difficult time. I feel like whatever it is you're working through, your higher self is like, okay, coping with things, a lot of, having a lot of grace. And then sometimes it may feel a little deceptive that you appear to be, you have it all under control, or not control, but like, you're good, you're good. You got it on lock. It's like, I guess so. Another way to say this would be that in your more vulnerable times, I feel like that might be more private for you. Okay. Spirit, can you tell me more about Temperance, please? Seven of Wands. So being very mindful about your boundaries and I think that's what plays into a part of this. That could be a very strong boundary for you, that when you are feeling vulnerable, that you're not just showing everybody that, And with the boundaries, with the Seven of Wands tied to the Temperance, it's like, you know that this is going to be a long fight, but this is the hill that you're willing to die on, you know. And to be fair, I don't think that you think you're going to die, but you know, this is challenging. It's challenging, but also reaffirming. I feel like you know that it's like you're fighting the good fight here. Okay. Spirit, can you tell me more about the Five of Pentacles, please? The Sun. Yeah, you're not selling out. You have the Queen of Pentacles and the Sun on either side of the Five of Pentacles. So that Five of Pentacles energy is really, I see that as really transitory for you. Like, I don't see you like setting up camp and living there, you know? It's like the sun comes in and melts the snow. There are things that you're able to see as truths, things that are illuminated, that are actually contributing to your own growth and health and well-being, even if the external circumstance may be less than desirable when it comes to your practical story. Okay. There's a very strong strength of character here, above all else. Okay, Spirit, can you tell me about the Seven of Swords, please? The Five of Swords. Yeah, I get the sense that you're basically withholding, or you could be bringing a lot of strategy to any kind of conflicts that you find yourself in, be them verbal or like verbal arguments or even negative self-talk, what have you. You're really trying to stay harnessed in the strength energy, because we have strength, Seven of Swords, Five of Swords. I feel like you might go back and forth by feeling really strong and that you got it all together to being just like, what am I doing? Am I lying to myself about A, B, and C? Like, you know, just feeling kind of defeated in certain ways, because you do have a couple of fives here, the Five of Swords and the Five of Pentacles. So while things may be very challenging in the 3D realm, in the practical everyday world, I feel like your character, your mindset, your values, the way that you carry yourself, just like all the things that make you the sturdy and steady person that you are very helpful. And at times it can feel like your bandwidth is waning a little bit on how long you are like. It's because it's not an inauthentic energy. It's clearly it's a part of your character, but even if it's a part of your character, it could still be exhausting to be the strong one all the time, you know? So there's that energy here. So tell me more about the Seven of Wands, please, Spirit. The King of Swords. Yeah, I feel like that's, you know, when it gets really tough, it's like you rely very strongly on your intellect and your clear communication, and you know, in order to communicate these boundaries. Like, you've really been through experiences in your life where you have alchemized the medicine and the experiences in such a way for long enough that you're like, oh yeah? Well, let me tell you. And I'll go ahead and deliver it with a lot of diplomacy or clarity, you know, preserving the dignity of everybody involved. But, yes. Yeah. This is challenging, but I mean, it could be, I just wonder, I don't know, like, I wonder if this is almost over, and I feel like maybe you wonder the same. Because it's challenging to be, like, so grounded all the time, and keeping the optimism or keeping the faith, you know? But the thing is that you keep showing up. You keep showing up. And that's what matters. And so I feel like the advice from Spirit is continue to show up in your most authentic way. And when you do need to take breaks so you could replenish yourself. After all, that you started off with the Queen of Pentacles, and that's the Queen of Pentacles energy right there. So we have the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck. Sometimes we're up, sometimes we're down. We make our choices and we get clearer. What this is also saying is that you are living and you are learning and alchemizing your karmic path. Okay? We all have a karmic path. We're all here to live and learn the lessons and carry them forward, and you're right there in the middle of it. You're actively living. You're actively living, Sagittarius. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there for the tarot portion, and I want to I'm going to pull an animal card for you. I'm going to pull an animal card, and I'm going to pull a flower remedy card. Humpback whale, singer. Sing healing songs for the world. Your inner navigation always guides you. Nothing can stop you or keep you from your goal. Align with your purpose and the power in your soul. Very nice. Okay. Stargazer Lily, surrender. Stargazer Lily is asking you to surrender to the unconditional love flowing toward you from the universe. Let down the barriers surrounding your heart and surrender unloving thoughts about yourself and allow yourself to receive. You are always enough. Okay, Sagittarius, I hope that helped. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time. Be sure to do all the YouTubey things, and I'll see you later. Okay, thanks. Mwah. Bye. Hello, Capricorn, and welcome to your reading. We're going to pull 9 cards, and we'll see whatever comes out, and then we'll top it off with bottom of the deck energy and at least 1 oracle card. So what is it that you need to know at this time, Capricorn? What is it that you need to know at this time? Five of Wands. These cards stick together. They're coated with this they have this finish on them that makes it so they don't slide all over, but it can also make it challenging to pick them up. So, okay. So you're taking your time with something right now because you're experiencing a lot of mental anguish around some sort of conflict. And the conflict is such that there's a shared end goal. However, there's competition in the group on how to go about doing it. You know, you're at odds in which actions you want to take. Okay? So you are really not taking the lead here, which is unusual for your sign. So it'll be interesting to see what this is about. So yeah, so Spirit, tell me more about the Five of Wands, please. Six of Swords. So that's why. You're like, I don't even really need to be a part of this drama. Peace. Like, you're just like, deuces, I'm out. And you're making a slower exit. Like, I get a sense that you're just kind of like quietly, exiting stage left here. And it does have an impact on you psychologically. We have the Nine of Swords here. But, the Five of Wands, then the Six of Swords is just like, I'm not engaging in this at all. So there could be a part of you that's just like, oh, really? This is getting intense? Bye. You're like, you're not having it. So it'll be interesting to see, like, whether or not it warrants or deserves your attention or not. Okay? Spirit, can you tell me more about the Knight of Pentacles, please? The Page of Cups. There's something about this conflict that really touches on your inner child here, Capricorn. And that's with that, because it's coupled with this Knight of Pentacles. It's a very slow moving energy, very intentional but yet methodical. Could also run the risk of being bogged down with analysis paralysis, right? And so that when that comes to decision making, that can be a challenging energy to have. But it's connected to the Page of Cups, and the Page of Cups is very youthful in the heart space. And with Capricorns, you guys typically aren't the mushiest, gooshiest of the signs. You really kind of like feelings. Ew. So it's like, it makes sense that there's just little gestures and emotion here and maybe some slight self-reflection. But the thing is that intellectually, this is having a very strong impact on you. But you may not be letting it touch you emotionally. So let's see here. Can you tell me more about the Nine of Swords, Spirit? The Lovers. Yeah, this has to do with a very strong connection. A very strong connection. There's something about this connection. The Lover's energy is no joke. It's not all sunshine and rainbows and, hot romps in the hay. It's really like a mirror. It's coming together with another person in such a deep and profound way that they reflect back to you what it is you need to deal with, and what it is that, it could even be a reflection of how you have grown, stuff like that. But, it's like we see it challenges. Granted, it's the Five of Wands and not the Five of Swords, but with the Nine of Swords for you on the opposite end, I would wonder whether or not this conflict is having so much bigger of an impact than it should. But I don't know. I mean, whatever impact it's having, it's having. I mean, you're only allowing yourself to feel a little bit of it, though. Whereas very strongly overthinking it, stressing on it, and there is a distance here. So yes, there's a lot at play. This is a very kind of a deep, this is connected to deep issues for you, like deep stuff. Okay, Spirit, can you tell me more about the Six of Swords? The Three of Wands. So yeah, I mean, you know, the Three of Wands is stepping through the gateway. It's going off and creating a whole new kind of path. It's like, okay, with the two, you were in planning mode, and now with the three, there's enough here to either go out and make something happen, or, you know, waiting for something to happen. I would say you're going to try to make something happen, given that the Six of Swords is here. That's departure energy. We have conflict energy, departure energy, and then threshold energy here when it comes to what it is that you want to do. Okay. Spirit, can you tell me more about the Page of Cups, please? The Ace of Cups. Yeah, I mean, you could have left one relationship. I mean, you could be in the process of leaving one relationship, only to start another. However, the invitation from Spirit, or whatever this is suggesting, is that you have more work to do. The thing is that the Ace of Cups can also be seen as an overwhelming experience, an overwhelming emotional experience. So another way to read this energy is that you're very slow, Knight of Pentacles, to get in touch with this Page of Cups, this very small gesture towards getting in touch with the heart space, lest it be very overwhelming, right? Hence the reason of like, okay, like I can figure it out. I'm going to be in my head about it. I'm going to do the mental thing rather than the heart thing. Because if I allow myself to really do the heart thing, it's going to be way too overwhelming. And I don't even want to deal with that, you know? So that's one way to read this energy. Okay, Spirit, can you tell me more about the Lovers, please? The Eight of Swords. You have Eight of Swords and the Nine of Swords flanking the Lovers. Yeah. So, I mean, what is this? And then the Two of Wands on the bottom of the deck energy. Conflict, moving away. So another way to read this energy is that there was conflict. Either you or another person moved away, departed from the conflict, okay? And then there's a Knight of Pentacles, Page of Cups, Ace of Cups. So you could actually be in your head about whether or not you want to reapproach this energy, because you have a lot of thoughts and a lot of feelings about this lover connection. And with the Two of Wands, it's kind of like you got two actions, like should I or shouldn't I? Do I do it this way or that way? Yeah. So there's a lot going on here. Because I mean, I'm just saying that's another way to read this energy. Because a lot of time aces can be renewals as well. You know, maybe not just like a brand new thing, but a renewal. This has been tormenting you, Capricorn. This has really been bugging you. Whoever or whatever this is. Okay, well, that's the tarot portion. I don't know. Should I pull more cards for you? Like, I feel like I don't want to leave you hanging, but at the same time, I didn't pull any other cards for any other sign. I did the 9 and then that was it, and read the dynamics. But like, I'm like, oh my gosh. And maybe that's the way you've been feeling, is like, is there something else I should be doing? You know, that could be something that you've been feeling as well. Okay, what's the advice for Capricorn? You know, some people got 2 oracle cards, and you're going to be getting 3 tarot cards for advice. Okay. What's the advice for Capricorn, Spirit? What is the advice for Capricorn? Okay, you got the Star, the Nine of Cups, and the Hierophant. Okay, so your advice is this. Your healing greatly depends upon you counting your blessings and also getting in touch with your moral compass, essentially. This is also an invitation if you feel the need to, for sure. And with the 8 and the 9 of Swords, I would say yes. Consult with a mentor, a guide, spiritual advisor, therapist, teacher, elder, family member, like somebody with wisdom. If you feel like you're at a loss for wisdom in the situation, talk to somebody about it, okay? Because that's also going to be a part of your healing. This doesn't tell you necessarily what to do. This is pointing you towards a process of your healing. I feel like that is all still in process for you, Capricorn. But I like the 9 of Cups in the middle because that says you have things to be stoked about and you have really good things to share, with friends, family, whatever, bounty. Okay? So that's that for you. And I think that that's good because with so much Swords energy regarding this relationship, it's always good to, get with the owl here, the wisdom, who is a symbol of wisdom for you, and who can you talk to. So let's go ahead and pick I'm gonna do the surrender. No, I'm gonna do No, sorry, sorry. I'm gonna do the Soulflower, the flower remedy. Okay, sorry. All right. Okay. Velvet leaf. Self-love. Yes. Yeah. Velvet leaf softly reminds you of your true nature, pure love. No matter what earthly chaos, negativity, or suffering you have faced, Velvet leaf wants you to remember that you are a magnificent, pure expression of divine love made manifest in human form. You are love itself. Love yourself. You are loved. Oh, I love this for you. Oh, so mushy. So mushy, Capricorn. Okay, well, I hope that helped, if it resonates. And so thank you so much. Do all the YouTubey things, and I'll see you later. Okay, bye. Mwah. Hello, Aquarius. We are going to be pulling cards on what you need to know at this time. Okay, the Sun wanted to pop out. Very nice, as did the Queen of Swords. Okay. Oops. Nine of Cups, Page of Pentacles. That page has come out in so many readings today. The Three of Cups. So yeah, so this is lovely. This is really lovely because you got the Nine of Cups and the Three of Cups flanking the Page of Pentacles. Like, this is really nice. It speaks to sharing your bounty, choosing the things that make you happy. You know who you want at your table. And you have those people at your table, which is lovely. And with the Page of Pentacles, it's like it feels, I feel like, ideas and opportunities are like kind of popping off for you. Maybe you're wanting to learn something new or start a new project of some kind. Could involve these people, doesn't have to, but be that as it may, you feel really supported to do those things because you have these folks by your side, and that's lovely. This is very nice, positive energy here, Aquarius. So, Spirit, can you tell me more about the Nine of Cups, please? The Nine of Swords. What's that about? So, yeah, you've been in your head about something. Maybe you were feeling like you didn't have enough to share, that you didn't give enough. I'm not sure. Maybe you feel like or fear that you don't make other people happy. I don't know. Because the Nine of Cups is really like, whatever it is that you want to choose. It's like counting your blessings as well, but it's also about sharing. Okay? So why would there be so much worry around that? So, Spirit, can you tell me more about the Page of Pentacles, please? Queen of Wands, confident. Page of Pentacles can also be gifts. Giving gifts, small gestures, Queen of Wands. There's a lot of confidence. You feel really good, in the act of gift giving or the act of initiating some sort of, long-term plan or acquiring a new skill, something that becomes integrated with you, in you and for you, okay? And for others, it would appear. Okay. Tell me more about the Three of Cups. There's the Five of Pentacles. Was there any kind of social group that made you feel cast out? Interesting. We have the Nine of Swords and the Five of Pentacles flanking the Queen of Wands. Perhaps you're worried and experiencing some sort of financial or energetic or health or time setbacks. You could be experiencing some setbacks in the realm of your practical life, and that does make you worry, but despite that, you are still moving forward with confidence. And you could even say that you're moving forward with confidence because you know that, you have the Three of Cups and the Nine of Cups on either side of you. You have a very solid support system. Okay. Can you tell me more about the Nine of Swords, please, Spirit? Knight of Pentacles. Slow moving out of this energy, I feel like. Or there could even be worry about how slow something is going. So you can read it both ways. Can you tell me more about the Queen of Wands, please, Spirit? Ace of Cups. Tell me more about the Five of Pentacles, please, Spirit. Two of Swords. Okay. So, in the dead center of the reading here, we have the Queen of Wands. So there's a lot of confidence, very attractive, looking good, smelling good, the whole thing, okay? And, you have things to share, you have good friends around you, you're willing to start new projects, and then right below you, there's like an Ace of Cups. So, perhaps in your pursuit of a love relationship, romantic relationship, seeing as you feel confident in yourself and you have good friends, when it comes to having a romantic relationship, you can feel worried and out in the cold because it's taking too long. And then you wonder if there's something that you're not seeing that's inhibiting this for you, with the Two of Swords. Is there some kind of willful blindness around how long this is taking or something to that effect? Or maybe even willful blindness, like even when you're out with your friends and you're having a good time, you can still feel maybe a little despondent. Was there an experience that made you feel left out on some level at any point? Maybe everybody else is partnered up and you're not, and that makes you feel left out. That's a possibility too. But it at the same time though, you have this Queen of Wands energy about you that's just like, I don't know if the Five of Pentacles or the Nine of Swords really, really has that much of it has an impact for sure, but whether or not it has the impact of really keeping you down or keeping you discouraged in your pursuit of love and your pursuit of your, Ace of Cups situation coming your way, or you being able to give that to another person. I think that it gets to you sometimes, but I don't think it keeps you down. Like, I don't think that you're giving up on it, Aquarius. I think that, you see the setbacks as just exactly what they are, which is like a speed bump, because ultimately you do have a lot of wonderful, beautiful things about you and around you, and a lot to offer. It's just one of those things. I mean, to be fair, it's like, oof, you could even be worrying about whether or not there's ever anybody out there, because like with this is making me think of like, the fish in the sea. But, are you throwing some of those fish back? Or like, I don't know. There's mystery here, but it's also kind of maybe the dating pool you're finding like, gosh, am I just having willful blindness thinking that this could actually be possible? Look at all the people, look at all the fish that I'm having to toss back out there. That's just really, it's challenging. And at the bottom of the deck energy, we have the Nine of Wands, which absolutely speaks to the experience of continuing to try and expecting different results, but continuing to get the same results. So that's where I think perhaps the High Priestess can come in. I feel like you're being invited by Spirit at this time, Aquarius, to really say, okay, is there anything that I'm not seeing? Is there something that I'm not seeing when it comes to who I invest my time and energy into? And whether or not, like, what does it mean for me, regardless of finding anybody else, to have this Ace of Cups? Why? Because it would appear that with the Queen of Wands, it's like you're the Queen of Wands here, and yeah, it's tough. It's tough. There's kind of a crisis in the relationship dating world, I feel like, these days, especially between men and women. But yet I also don't know about any of the other circumstances, because that's not the space that I occupy romantically, so I don't know what the tone and tenor of those spaces are, if it's going any better. I would hope so, for everyone's sake. But be that as it may, Aquarius, this is what you're working with. And honestly, I feel like when you hold in mind your own goodness and the goodness of who you surround yourself with and what you choose to do with your time and energy, that, that's a lovely thing, and it is going to take time, however much time it needs to take. So let me pull a surrender card for you. I'm going to leave it there for the tarot portion. Oops. Okay, well, that surrender to what is. Flow with what is instead of fighting it. When you can't change a situation, compassionately accepting it exactly as it is will bring you peace. I know another reader on here always says a watched pot never boils, and so maybe that's a part of it. So I'm going to let it go for now. Okay, Aquarius, I really hope that that helped. Thank you for stopping by, and I will hopefully see you next time. Do all the YouTube-y things for me. That really helps this channel grow, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye. Pisces, yay. We've made it to the very end. Okay, Pisces, this is going to be a 9-card, 10-card reading of what do you need to know right now, and yeah, what messages does Spirit have for you right now, Pisces? All right. Okay. Seven of Wands. The World. The King of Cups. So, okay. So Pisces, you have a lot of emotional maturity right now when it comes to setting your boundaries around a situation that has come to a close. Okay? Yeah. I get the sense, Pisces, that you're just like, you're really, you know, you're taking this in stride, and you're moving through it with a lot of grace. Okay? Whatever this ending is. Okay? Spirit, can you tell me more about the Seven of Wands, please? The Seven of Cups. And you know what? Honestly, you could have a lot of emotional fragmentation when it comes to setting certain boundaries, okay? Because you're such a loving sign, and you're very flexible, and, you know, you just see the good in so many people. Like, you see the good in everybody. And so that can make it difficult to hold boundaries. You can set them. You have a very mature, you know, emotionally mature way about you in this reading about setting them, but I wonder if they get challenged, if that might make you a little wishy-washy or feel a lot of different things about it. Okay? This can also be read as having a lot of different options with regard to how to set these boundaries, or whatever the case may be. I mean, ultimately it's emotional fragmentation about boundary setting. And that can happen just internally, or if they continue to get challenged externally. Right? Spirit, can you tell me more about the World, please? The Moon. Yeah, perhaps there's an ending here that, you know, a cycle's coming to a close, but it could have closed with you may feel like, well, what just happened? Like, you know, you could feel really confused about this ending with regard to, like, you didn't see it coming or something like that. I mean, it's not a tower, so it's a cycle. I get the sense, being as intuitive as you are, Pisces, you could feel it coming, but it's left you feeling a little confused because you're like, what's up with that? You know, what's up with that? I don't know. Like, there's things that you feel like are hidden in the situation. Perhaps you also felt like you were being dealt with dishonestly. You know, I find that when you're engaged with people and you come away feeling confused and emotionally fragmented, I think that that's, even if it doesn't feel like all the information, it's enough information to let you know that you're not being dealt with in a very honest way. There's some manipulation afoot, some sort of something funky. But you know this, Pisces. Okay, so King of Cups, we have Three of Swords. So yeah, I mean, you're having a lot of emotional maturity about something that did hurt your heart, okay? It was an ending of a cycle. You didn't really see it coming, you sensed it coming. And now that it's here, it has left you feeling a little like, you know, a little confused, a little fragmented, maybe. I do feel like the King of Cups, your emotional maturity in the situation, is really kind of overriding this Seven of Cups. I feel like the Seven of Cups is here and attached to the boundaries because let's just say, for sake of argument here, that this is somebody that you were dealing with in the realm of love, and they, you know, break up with you, then try to make up with you, then break up with you and try to make up with you. Like, that's what I'm talking about. That's why the Seven of Cups can be attached to this Seven of Wands. Okay? So 2 sevens together, that's 14. 1 plus 4 is 5, which is conflict, you know? But the 7 is the number of... There's conflict, and then... I gotta really actually look that up. 7. Put it down in the comments. I think the 7 is the number of the self, but I think the 9 could be more the number of the self. But they're all numbers of the self, right? Like, we're always dealing with stuff. Okay, so 7 of Cups has the 8 of Swords, yeah. So when you have confusion, you then have overthinking, you know, because that's when somebody's words and actions don't match. It causes cognitive dissonance and emotional fragmentation. And that's exactly what's here when it comes to this moon energy, when it comes to the 7 of Wands, the boundary setting energy. You know, there can be kind of this nebulous feeling of like, what's right around the corner, or I don't know. It's just something was hidden, and then you just don't have all the information. And when you don't have all the information, that could really make you feel like you're like, I don't know what to think about this, you know? Spirit, can you tell me more about the moon, please? The Queen of Cups. So we have the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups in your reading, and the moon, which is also your major arcana. Yeah. The World, the Moon, the Queen of Cups. 8 of Swords, Queen of Cups. This is such a Pisces reading. It's such a Piscean reading. It's like, there's heartache, there's confusion, there's 2 fish. Like, what can we do? There's some overthinking, there's all kinds of feels. Yeah, no, but it's really beautiful because honestly, Pisces, I mean, you're not a stranger to this process. And I think that when you do find yourself in it, you're just kind of like, yeah. Because ultimately what you're doing is you're like, I'm out. I could swim away just as quickly as I could swim towards you. I could swim away from you. And when you do a Pisces wrong, it's over. Like, it's done. Yeah. Because the thing is that they can love so freely and openly and with their whole heart. And that when that's taken like either advantage of or manipulated or pushed or pulled, it's like, no, that's no good. So I see overthinking, I see emotional fragmentation, I see some heartache here. In the dead center of the reading is your major arcana, is the moon. I think, Pisces, that this is always an invitation for you to get in touch with your, what you know to be true, also your core sense of self. Pay attention to your dreams. Honestly, I think that if anything is creeping in to bug you about any of this, I think that if you rely more on your inner knowing and what you know to be true for you and your healing and seeing this for what it is, because it's a wrapping up of a cycle here. and getting back in touch with your boundaries, because there's a lot of water and swords energy, but that the only kind of sturdy energy is the Seven of Wands. And so I think the Seven of Wands is really going to help you here. Okay? The boundaries, the emotional maturity with the King and the Queen of Cups. And then, so you have the King of Cups, the Three of Swords, and the Six of Swords. So that's a departure. You know, that's a departure. The World, the Moon, Queen. Things ended. There was some mystery as to how and why. So I think that this is about, you know, you just having your boundaries and your wits about you and taking care of yourself in order to heal from this experience. Yeah, we have the Five of Pentacles at the bottom. Feeling depleted or out in the cold, and then the Ace of Cups underneath that, Empress underneath that. You know, with that, I mean, this energy could have been getting itself out of the way because something else was coming in, whether that's a new love or just a whole new experience, a whole new focus for you that doesn't need any kind of noise clouding the space or crowding out anything. Okay, so whatever this was happened for you, not to you. I don't know. I see you really just rolling with it and swimming along and being just fine, to be fair. So let me go ahead and we'll pick a language of letting go, and then we will close the whole video. Confiding in a friend. Today I will remember that it's okay to talk about the issues that bother me. It is by sharing these concerns that I will move beyond them. I will trust myself to choose the best confidant possible, someone who will not use my disclosures against me and who will give me healthy feedback. That could also be what that moon is in the middle of the reading, the dead center of the reading. There could be you having a lot of feelings, but maybe not really showing them. Maybe you're having boundaries around all the feelings that you're having about this. Because all of the feelings are perfectly acceptable and warranted completely. Like, it looks like somebody, you know, broke your heart here a bit. I want to pull a nice empowering card for you. Let's get some animals in here. White stag, protector, very nice. You are an old soul. Your best friend is nature. Use your intuition to take you where you want to go. Awaken to the powerful force within you. You are meant to create blessings with your magic. Yes, you are, Pisces. Yes, you are. So thank you so much for joining me. I really hope that helped. And I will see you on the next one. In the meantime, do all the YouTube-y things. And thank you in advance for all of that. Okay, take care. Mwah.